Getting started, Howard. We record live on YouTube for 20 minutes in the morning. It takes me a couple of minutes to get that going. We all saw the impressive gap up yesterday. Was historically a relatively large gap. You know, gaps in the market typically that are considered large are 1% or greater. I think the Q's gapped up about 1.9%. And historically, gaps of that size don't result in a continuation unless it comes off of a bottom, you know, meaning prices have been going down probably for a couple of months. You get a gap up versus, you know, a market that was coming up for multiple days, and which is what generally everything was. I mean, it was a little consolidation last week, and you know, it's been going up all of June, and then that little consolidation the prior week to this week, and then this big gap up on the news. So basically, what's now? So profits were taken, and we got a lot of red bars, but they are in after they had come after some strength. So the next question in what Dan and I call our factory work is applying what is the next part of the thought process, if you will. So establishing where resistance is, and that changes, you know, depending on the market you're looking at or an individual stock, but the analysis never changes. And so just looking at the transports here, which had been lagging, and then they started to show some relative strength. And then other pre-market reviews, this is exactly what I said needed to happen when they came down here. They needed to hold this area, and areas are general areas, not pinpoint areas, and established this as a low. And they did that, and they did it with authority. And they, you know, yesterday the gap up pushed above that prior pivot high over there. So positive sign there. Went up to attack the next pivot high and failed and backed off. So now we're in a situation pretty much everywhere, and we'll look at other markets, is what is the reaction going to be to their respective resistance areas? Considering the size of the gap up, and maybe it's too much too fast to expect anything of significance to happen, maybe today or tomorrow being a half a day, people taking time off, and so on. Guys, give me a second here. We'll see how they react. And if they go sideways in these areas, well, that opens up the door and the probability to pushing higher and new all-time highs. So that's what we'll be looking for to see how these ranges set up. Looking at the Russell, it was another one that needed to bring up the rear, and it did. It gapped up, and that kind of led the way down yesterday, which it was weak where the other markets were holding up, and it kept moving lower, and kind of everything kind of came off the low there at the end of the day a little bit. And as you can see, this here left a little tail. So we'll see. Right now it's trading within the range, and it's still really early to really tell. But as we look at some of the futures here, what we have, what's called an inside day so far. So this may be what we're in for today, meaning, you know, again, yesterday was the big gap up, some profit taking things came in, and a consolidation day, an inside day here would be just fine. Be a bit boring, of course, as far as looking for activity, but from the bullish point of view, an inside day and maybe even one tomorrow that could result in Friday starting to make the move up would be bullish. So regardless of what we think, the news that's coming out, as technical traders, we look at the technical arrangement and the trend, support, resistance. So uptrend, pullback to support, push up past this high. Now, one of the things that we look at is that, well, when prices exceed a prior high, like here, this was a strong move up, little pullback. It exceeded the prior high with strong momentum and speed. Whereas this one, maybe because of the gap up, it stalled right away. And that leads to the thought, not the probability, the thought, could this be an M top? Meaning, just because this is in an uptrend, it doesn't mean it has to go up. The odds are that it goes up because trend, you give the benefit of the doubt to the trend. But if we get a close below this area, well, then that opens up the door to moving to the downside. So again, a bit of a wait and see mode to see what develops. Our bias, just based on the trend, is that it's going up. However, well, we know the S&P's made a new high, so that doesn't have anything to stop it. But on the other hand, if we go to the NASDAQ market, right, it hasn't made a new high. So how does this react here? Right? Does it keep going sideways? Does this become a larger green bar closing at the high that would display some real authority that the bulls are in charge here? Or does it just kind of go out with a whimper, you know, waiting for the holiday and so on? So right now we don't have much to go on, meaning, you know, where prices are at. It's, you know, let's see how they consolidate at resistance. Normal to get a topping tail after a gap up, going nowhere here today. You can see the weekly, you know, a move from the low up to the high. And everything for the moment just points to, hey, maybe go start the holiday early, you know, or, you know, trade small until we get more information. You know, same story here, you know, for our inside day in the lower part of the range. 60-minute chart retesting the low. We'll see if we can get a little something going here intraday, or whether, you know, sellers are going to stay in control and we go down to the next level, which isn't all that far away. And bonds, as I said yesterday, they're kind of looking at all of this with a skeptical eye. You know, those bonds are not dropping and interest rates going up. And TBT yesterday did show a little bit of strength there coming off of the low. It's been holding this area. And so this is what we want to see as far as this concerns of a slowing economy, which now is like, okay, if the trade deal war is over and, well, we've heard all the news, those concerns are over, this will start to perk to the upside and bonds will start to inch to the downside. And right now they're just going sideways, waiting to gather some information that they're more confident in. But buyers are not running away here. So you have to be, as I said yesterday, a little skeptical of the market's ability to go higher. But we'll see. We'll see. Crude oil just chopping around here. Just more sideways price action. Digesting information, which again leads us to really no great opportunities here at the moment. And that's the way the markets are. Sometimes we don't get what we want when we want it. We have to be patient and wait for our setup. Gold got a little extended. We've gone over the fact that this was a big bullish breakout on the monthly, suggesting higher prices to come, and look for a buyable pullback. And the bull pullback is here. And a little buying going on here. Ideally, I'd like to see this, we can inch this up here now, and maybe a little pullback into the area of the 20 MA down around here would be a good place for entries. Strength semis, almost back to the old high. All right, China concerns, oh, not so much concerns. All right, alleviated, big gap up and going nowhere there. And technology coming all the way back, right, close to maybe a peekaboo to a new all-time high over there. And internet is kind of a mess there. Google's, Amazon, Facebook, and all of that. So that's the bottom line here is, you can find opportunities in individual stocks. It's always the way it is. The market's here while moving up off of that low at the beginning of June. They did it really fast, and that historically leads to some choppy price action. And it's up at resistance, so it all makes sense. And we'll be patient and disciplined to follow our plan and not press the issue. And things will eventually set up. So that's it. All yours, Dan.
Good morning, traders. Yeah, we actually found a number of nice bullish setups scanning yesterday afternoon. We entered a couple of them, have a few more on our watch list. And we stopped out of a lot of stuff yesterday too. We're down to only 3 trades now in the weekly options trader. GLD call spread, we covered half. And it's way out of the money, the 136s for Friday, so that looks fantastic. And Triple M, we have a put spread for Friday, way out of the money. Amazon we got into yesterday, gapping down a little bit here, but holding yesterday's low and grinding a little bit right now. That should be fine. Swing and options trader. FDC, we bought yesterday into the close. OMC was in the weekend letter. ROP, we bought into the close. Tilray, we did a half lot, and the other half lot today over yesterday's high. Mylan, long stock. Hey, we're getting a little gap up there. We're just in trail mode. So as long as we don't get an adverse gap, so far so good. This has been very easy to manage. Halliburton, long stock. Stop, I moved it under that base. And finally, RPD, we have a covered call. And that's it there. Bunch of gappers. EROS, $1.88, and a nasty downtrend on all time frames. But something got it perking here. That could be a day trade or even a swing. I mentioned airlines are popping here pre-market. 59 bucks, so it's it's a bullish gap, bullish retracement, but a lot of resistance now in the weekly. Let's look at some others. LUV, I read in the paper that it's like having to get rid of the 737 Maxes from its inventory. American, say something got them all popping there. Delta, UAL, JetBlue, AOK, SMPL 2590, bullish gap up to all-time highs. Pergo had a nice move this morning. Now it's coming all the way back down, but it's extended, so there's no trade. TTD 229.50. That's gapping right into the middle of this mess. Nothing to do, but it's a buy setup on the weekly. Nike is all over the news today. They're, I don't know, saying they don't like the July 4th sneakers. I don't know, racist or whatever. No pattern though. You see how the market is the total discounting mechanism. Like this is what the market's saying, digesting the news. All market participants. Like they don't care about it from a fundamental standpoint. Doing nothing. It's up a few pennies. Roku downgraded. That was a bearish close. You know, this is bearish consolidation in the lower half of this ugly red bar, 20 MA curled over. Let me turn him down. 88.76. That still could go lower for a day trade. This could easily come down 84, 85 bucks. Easily. I'll put him there. OMN. I think this was an earnings stock. It's doing nothing. GBX 27.90. Ooh, it's a bearish gap. All the way down to this 2-bar reversal. I have no idea which way it's going to go. SBH, McGraw, you gave me this one as a short. Yeah, I like it. Wide range igniting, sell setup, less than 50%. Sure, weekly, monthly look lower. I see XLB perking here pre-market. We got into this yesterday in our ETF trader. We were trying to sell puts on it also, but it's too spready. 128, that's a nasty gap under all of this, but it's on earnings. This actually was a bullish reverse heading shoulders. This was a bullish pattern yesterday. Now it's not. Let's put him here, see what he's going to do. Tesla in the news about some executives leaving. But once again, market doesn't care. It's gapping up. This looks like a put spread candidate. I think I said that yesterday, but the juice was inadequate. 34.30, this is a fairly new, but see, this one held the IPO price. Look, that's IPO, boom, no tail at all. Deep retracement, consolidation still looked lower, but McGraw, this is one of those examples. If it can now trade over this bar's high, then all of this becomes support and you got a price for it. So that one I like. RBLV, I have no idea what that stock does. Isn't that funny, our line of work? We don't care. All right, so it still needs to, go up some more. ADP 159, that's a very bearish gap. We'll keep an eye on it. AMRN 2064, it's a gap breakout, but very sloppy. AXSM. Light volume, but that's, oh, I think we had this one in our list from, yeah, I think that was on Alex's list. Looks higher. Coup I had as a carryover. That's on McGraw's list. I like these 2 red bars ignored. Let's see if we can get a put spread on that. Oh, GWR. That's a bullish consolidation right here. That might be a, oh wait, is this a buyout? Looks like it. LBS, I like the gap breakout yesterday from this consolidation. Nothing to do with it now. CMI. This was on, Alex's list. I like this bull flag consolidation. SWKS, too extended now. Zoom, recent IPO. Honeywell, I know Flyman is in that. India Romeo. This is another one we have as a long fit over the high that I posted yesterday. BBBY, I'm just watching this weekly. These are all leftovers. Here's another crazy IPO. REAL, another ugly IPO. Boeing down some more. We hit our profit target on the call spread yesterday. And that's about it. Tilray holding up. Apple here was a gap breakout yesterday. Facebook, a mess. Google. And Netflix, we said, was a put spread idea, but there was insufficient juice. AYI, yeah, we looked at that. That's a nasty gap down. Spiders. Diamonds light volume. Q's slowly turning their way up, filling the gap here. So that's bullish. All right, we're done. A couple minutes early. So I'm going to mute this, but if you have any questions, I'm here. Oh, ROP, we also entered yesterday. Fabian, market gains were actually a result of OTC trading. Result, I have no idea what that is talking about, nor does it affect the way we trade.